What is Bongo? Bongo is an AI tool that evaluates one's speaking presentation based on delivery and content. Bongo does not offer its tool to individual subscribers, which is a shame because it makes it inaccessible to the masses. So we here at Homily decided to partner with them to bring this tool to preachers. What does it do? It analyzes your video sermon and then gives you feedback around the clarity of your content and the quality of your delivery. However, there are other AI tools that do that too. What sets Bongo apart is that Homily is able to go in and adapt the learning objectives to give custom feedback that is specific to preaching. Preaching is different than other forms of speech presentations, and Homily has worked with Bongo to adapt the feedback accordingly. How does it work? Well, let me show you. What you would do is you would come in and you'll upload a video, and you can record your own video live there. We'll come back to that in a second. But for most of us who are uploading sermons that we have already preached, we will click upload video. What I like to do is I like to upload it straight from Dropbox. I put all my videos in Dropbox anyways to save them, but this allows me to take it from Dropbox straight into Bongo. And by doing that, it also uploads the video into Bongo quicker. So for the sake of illustration, let's just click and upload a quick video. So let's just pick a random one. I upload it, and you can see it's already uploaded into the program and it's beginning to analyze it. It'll analyze that video for about 15 minutes. For the sake of time, we'll allow that to process, but I'll bring you over to one that I've already uploaded. Once it's done analyzing, it's going to give you a score. Now this score is largely due to delivery specific. You can see around 3 areas: clarity, filler words, speaking rate. You can do a detailed analysis that'll give you a little more description around those elements. It'll give you the transcript, so then you can go in and it says, hey, I have 66 filler words. What are those? I can look at them. I can see what words I'm using as filler words. So in my own coaching and speaking, I can work on not saying so much or like so much. And you're probably watching this video and you've probably heard me already use those words because naturally that's those are the words I turn to when I'm doing filler words. But Bongo's gonna let you know those details. It's gonna let you get an idea of your tone and your delivery. But here's where it's really helpful. This is around learning objectives and the grading rubric that Homily has put in. It'll take your sermon, and this is a bad example. Apparently I hit all the learning objectives, which hopefully you would do that. So let me go back to another one. Let's go over to this one. I know I missed some learning objectives here. This particular video said I was speaking a little fast, 191 words per minute. That is fast. So let's take this example. I go to tips and feedback. It's going to give me things that I did well. I'll get an example of where I did that well, that particular thing in the sermon. And then it'll give me some opportunities for growth. It says the speaker could work on varying the pace and delivery. I'm intentionally slowing down even as I talk now, right? Maybe I read it and it helps me think through, maybe I should slow down. And so the speaker could work on varying the pace and delivery to keep the audience engaged and interested. That's great advice. Nobody wants a monotone preacher. It says also it'd be beneficial for the speaker to incorporate more diverse vocal inflections to add emphasis and emotions to key points of the sermon. You noticed even then as I read that, I added some of those elements in to help just round out my delivery. But then it's going to give me feedback also on these other elements. Now, when you are a pro member, you can upload unlimited amount of videos to this every month to practice. But one of the best things about this tool, and this is where I'll close this video, is as I coach preachers, one of the things I say often is I wish I could really help preachers before they preach a sermon. Now, when we get feedback after a sermon, it's helpful for the next sermon, but there's so many times where I will listen to a sermon from someone I'm coaching or I'm listening to a preacher, and I say to myself, I just wish I could get a hold of that part of the sermon and tweak it a little bit and help them tweak it to make it clearer or to make it more compelling or to make that illustration stick better? Well, Bongo allows you to, when you go to add video, to click on camera and record yourself. I encourage preachers to practice their sermons ahead of time, to practice transitions, to practice their introductions, to practice their closings. Practice those important parts where you're wanting to bring the sermon home and really help it connect in the application with your listeners. Well, you can practice that ahead of time, and Bongo will give you feedback and advice on what you can do around the learning objectives of preaching in order to preach the sermon better before you actually preach it to others. And this is one of the great benefits of Bongo. So whether it is before you preach or after you preach, I want to encourage you to review your feedback. Look at all the things you did well. Look at the things that you could improve upon. And I want to encourage you with every sermon or every time you get feedback from Bongo, or whether from a live person, or whether when you watch your own sermons and you notice things you want to do better, I want to encourage you to pick one thing for the next time you preach or the next time you teach and just focus on that one thing. For me, after looking at this, I'm going to focus on slowing down when I talk, looking at these reviews. And then for the next sermon, that's the one coaching piece I'm going to work on. And what I like to do is at the top of my notes is I'll write slow down. I'll just write the one thing that I want to emphasize the next time. Well, Bongo is going to help you do that. Now, of course, we have human sermon evaluations from our coaches, which will go into much more detail than Bongo can give you. But at least this is a resource that is available to you unlimited before you preach or after you preach to help you preach clear, compelling, and Christ-centered sermons.